Hi, thanks for tuning into my channel. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to get a little bit forceful today because I am sick and tired of the government jumping down our throats and telling us what we can and can't do. And now they're jumping into our schools and going after our kids like they own them, like they get to make the rules and teach our children the things they want. And it also sounds like brainwashing. And if you can get them young enough, you can really screw them up. So, going forward, I'm going to give you some things that will really scare you. And the thing is, I don't care if you're left wing, right wing, or flying right down the middle. This is for everyone. Because if we let the schools control us and control our kids, and we let the government into our lives and into our children's lives and into our homes this much, that's just the first step. They've already screwed us up, screwed up our businesses, our livelihoods, all of that with COVID. And now, going forward, they're going after our kids and our schools with the whole gender and transgender ideology. And where are they going to stop? What happens if you sit quiet right now because you're thinking, woohoo, they're teaching my kid what I want them to teach, but all of a sudden they start teaching something you don't like? You're not going to have a leg to stand on, because by then the government will have gone way too far for too long, and it's going to be a lot harder to reel them back. So buckle your seatbelts. I've got a lot to say. I hope you're listening. I want to talk to you in contrast to what the school's job is and what the parent's job is. A parent's job is to nurture, love, and support our children, always and all the time. It's an unwavering, unconditional love that parents have for their children that no one else has. We have the corner on the market on that. We are their parent. As mothers, we have brought these children into this world, or perhaps you've adopted. Doesn't matter. Mothers, and women in particular, I'm talking about biological women who have conceived and born a child, really know that bond. And even if you're an adoptive mother, if you were born a biological woman, it is inherent in your nature to be more nurturing, loving, patient, and all of those things. And men have their roles too, so I'm not dissing on men at all, but right now I'm just talking about basic roles and genders. We also have the responsibility to teach our children about the world and their bodies, and generally we need to teach children about morals, values, standards, being kind to one another. You know, the basics. We, as parents, should be the ones to decide when our children are ready to hear about, the birds and the bees. We should be the ones to decide when they are emotionally ready to handle it. Because I know with my 5 kids, they were all different ages when I talked to them, because they had different maturity levels and different interests. I set them down, and with the love that only a mother has, I explained to them basic biology, scientific facts, how things work, about the menstrual cycle. For boys, wet dreams and getting aroused for almost, no reason. But I taught my kids those things gently, thoughtfully, and used facts. Then I instilled my values, their father's values, and talked to them about the importance of sexual intimacy. But I don't think it should be done lightly. I don't think teenagers should be hopping in and out of bed with each other. We have unwanted pregnancies, diseases, things of that nature that kids just aren't ready to handle. It's just too much responsibility. So I taught these things to my kids from my perspective, now understand these are my opinions, my thoughts, my values. There is a difference between the school's jobs and our job as parents and our job as mothers. So we send them to school and we hope they're going to learn the basics. Government is getting involved with your kids and your parenting, and you better wake up and realize it, because if you don't, your children will be indoctrinated with whatever the school wants to. So even if you're very liberal and you're saying, great, I want my children to know all about the LGBTQ XYZ community. I want my kids to know all about gay sex as well as straight sex and all that. Well, what about when they start teaching something you don't agree with? If they started bringing back prayer in school, you'd be up in arms. So be careful what you allow a school to do, because you can't start picking and choosing. Now in California, they can literally take your child away from you if you don't call that child by their preferred pronouns. They will take the child away from you. You will be charged with child abuse and you won't see that child again. So I'm just saying this gets bigger and bigger if we let it. If I was a parent now, if my children were young, I would boycott public schools altogether. The blatant promotion of all of these left-wing woke ideologies are really harming our kids, and they are doing so by sacrificing true academic teaching and learning. Curriculum, such as books, videos, lectures, guests, and all of that children are being exposed to as young as 5 years old, have sexually explicit materials in them. And I have seen videos of parents complaining at school board meetings only to have the school board try and squash them and tell them not to bring us up at a school board meeting because they were trying to read the text of one of the books that their 8-year-old brought home. And believe me, it was pornographic. And the school board stopped them and said, this is not appropriate to read to these adults at a school board meeting. Exactly. So think about it before you give the government any more control. And think about your children. And think about the long-term effects of what this will do to your kids. Because no one really knows. Are you willing to let the world, the government, and the schools experiment on your child? I know I sure wouldn't be. Good luck out there. Watch out for yourselves. Be informed. Know the laws. Know your rights. Thanks. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.